in most of the market. I've seen it on one of these Facebook threads of these trades. That's why the most expensive company in the area is the largest company, because they're providing the most, right? So generally the cheapest guy is the middle class guys. They're generally the smallest or cheap companies or small companies. Generally the most premium company is the most expensive, and the biggest companies are the most premium in the area. Like they're just taking over, not because they're cutting corners, because they're doing it right the first time.
Welcome to the Waste No Day podcast, a podcast specifically for and about the home services industry as it relates to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. More than a podcast, Waste No Day is a credo, a determination, a mindset. It is a never-ending discipline. It is a refuse to lose pursuit. It is a wake-up call every morning to waste no day. Now here's your hosts, Brian Burton and Nate Minnick.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Waste No Day podcast. Your hosts Nate and Brian are joining with you once again. And man, we are excited to bring back Dylan Moya and Logan Altland for part 2 of their amazing dual episode. Both of these gentlemen have been on the podcast before and as individuals, but they also did part 1 last week. So if you didn't catch that, make sure you do before you listen to the conclusion of our conversation today. Right now, we're going to do a little bit of an introduction ourselves, and we're going to turn to Mr. Brian Burton for our quote.
I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life a champion.
Derek Jeter.
Muhammad Ali, bro. Come on. I picked it back up from last week.
I should have known.
I wanted to go with the same guy for both quotes.
Well done.
Yeah. And arguably, the GOAT at heavyweight. The greatest of all time, arguably.
Many people would be at least number 1, number 2.
Yeah, for sure. Who would you put it? The other number 1, number 2?
Will Smith. Oh, too soon?
That's those slap competitions, though. Okay, that's not boxing. He's got the heavyweight look, though, doesn't he?
Will Smith?
Yeah, he's big.
Depends which movie he's in, but yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Certainly with a tux on, he's got that heavyweight look.
Yeah, if he's in The Pursuit of Happiness, not so much.
Is it Tyson? Tyson, the other one?
Tyson, Mr. Foreman. I don't know. Those guys would all be in the running.
Yeah. Hey, Tyson in his prime. Whew. Count me out. You know what I mean?
What's funny is that Will Smith, one of his lyrics is that he said he met Ali and told him, I'm the greatest.
For real?
Yeah.
Anyway, why are we talking about Will Smith right now? What happened?
You brought it up, bud.
Yeah, we're falling apart here, buddy. Yeah, the training piece, man. He hated training, and I don't know a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of people hate training in these circles, and we have a pretty dynamic training here, but we still know there are some people who would much rather sleep in and get up just in time to head to their first call than come to training. They aren't champions. They might be someday. It's not looking good at this point. And, well, I shouldn't say that. Doesn't mean you're a champion because you don't like to come to training. But if you would rather stay home, if you're only going because it's a mandatory training, that's not a champion attitude. It's Kobe Bryant. I saw this video where Kobe Bryant was talking about one of the older veteran players asked him from another team. I don't remember who it was. He said, "Man, why are you such an a-hole on the court?" And he's like, "How am I an a-hole?" He's like, "Well, you take the shot when it's almost impossible versus just throwing it to one of your teammates who's open and can take it from much closer." And he's like, "Man, these guys get here a minute before training starts, mandatory training, and they leave a minute after it ends. And I'm here for hours before it starts and hours after it ends. Why would I give them the ball? They're not going to know what to do with it."
Ooh, ouch. Wow.
I paraphrase that because it's probably a couple weeks ago I saw that video, but it stuck, man. It resonated because, I'm hearkening back to when Brent Buckley and my brother and my brother-in-law and a few others, Mike Bissell and Tom Tabor and a few others of us were like always meeting up early to cover objections and stuff before the meeting started. there were just tons of guys who got there 1 minute before the meeting started, 1 minute after, and left right away and didn't stay back to as long as we could to like process the training and get a little bit more out of it. And, you know, I don't know where they're at now, but I know where most of the guys I just mentioned are. They're killing it somewhere. Like,
right.
They're kicking butt. That's a champion mindset. Nate, watch this. Raise your hand if you wanted to get up that early and be there a half an hour before a mandatory meeting started. Can you see my hands?
I do.
Are they in the air?
They are not.
They're not in the air because I don't like getting up earlier than I have to. Nobody does. There's nobody who does. But if you want to be a champion at whatever you're doing, and maybe you don't want to wear a belt, okay, fine. You don't want to be the champ, the GOAT. You want to make more money in less amount of time? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about communication training. Making more money in less time. That's all you have to do to get there is train, practice, rehearse, role play. Talk to people who are doing it better than you. Don't hate on them. There's nearly 100% chance that you're wrong in your assumptions of what they're out there doing. If you haven't done a ride along to confirm it, you don't know what you're talking about. So knock it off. Ask for that ride along. Find the person who's just doing a little, it doesn't have to be Dylan, Moya, and Logan Altland necessarily, but just find someone who's doing a little bit better than you are. Somebody who's beating you month in, month out. Stop hating on them, even if it's quietly behind his back, her back, and ask them if you can do a ride along. I said her back because I saw a post by Coral Whale on Facebook the other day.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
She's just a G, man. It's just always like next level, next level, next level. I'm like, love it. Love her energy. We got to get her on here one day.
We do.
She's a champ.
And Brian, I'm struck by a quote or a verse, actually, that the president of our company has in his office. It's Hebrews 12:11. It says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." And I think that's a really broad concept that can apply to a lot of areas of life. Nobody wants discipline. Nobody wants challenge. Nobody wants to be corrected. And yet, if you are willing to endure that, if you are willing to put yourself in those positions, it will result in improvement. There is no challenge that should not result in improvement in some way. Either you learn how not to do it or you learn how to do it better. And that's something that I think both of these gentlemen have lived in their lives with the things and the decisions that they have made. They have chosen to get uncomfortable, to invite discipline into their life so as to become better at communication, at their skill, at their craft, if you will. It takes discipline, it takes challenge, and it takes a willingness to say, I want the immediate pain for the future benefit.
Yeah, resistance.
That's right.
Got to have that resistance. Nothing's growing without it. It's always that, I don't know, I remember where I heard it, but about astronauts going into zero gravity for long.
That's right, yeah.
Extended periods of time, and they come back and their muscles are all shrunken. Even their bone density is smaller because there was no resistance. So you're getting stronger, you're getting weaker. You're not staying the same. It's that quote. I don't know where it came from, but Ken Goodrich used to say it to me all the time, where he was like, "You're green and growing, or you're brown and dying. There's no standing still." Don't know if it's his quote, but it is to me. But your muscles are either growing or shrinking. You will not look at yourself 3 years ago having been, in static mode and see that your muscles are the exact same size. They shrink. They go down if you're not using them. So this is no different. Got to be in constant resistance training mode.
And that's what these two gentlemen are. They are in resistance training mode. And actually, they're going to show a little bit of their own training in today's podcast as we do some more objections around the table. And right now, we're going to invite those boys to come back and sit in your passenger seat. Our guests today are returning from part 1 of last week's episode. Dylan Moya and Logan Altland. They are both joining us as a plumber and electrician, both in the $3 million plus category of annual revenue. If you didn't hear last week's episode, make sure you check that out. We're going to pick up the conversation right where we left off and continue with their great and inspiring stories. Welcome back to the show, boys.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to be back, guys. Thank you for having me back.
Well, speaking of getting better, what I was looking to do here is actually provide a little bit of training for our audience. And because we are in the presence of such greatness, I thought it would be interesting for you two to do some objections training today.
Uh-oh.
Click.
Yeah, there's a line disconnect.
I don't think cell phones do that, do they?
My first call is calling.
So what we want to do here is a little bit of random roundhouse. Dylan,
Random selection.
Logan, and Brian. We have a very highly technical app on here that's going to randomize who's getting the objection thrown at them.
Okay.
Dylan, you up for it?
Yeah. We're gonna watch you stumble through it, but we'll get it going.
Okay. And for those
What
of you
time is
listening-
it for you right now, Dylan?
It's 8:47.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
So for
It's
those of
8:47 a.m. in
Okay.
Dylan's world. He's an hour behind us. It's 9:47 for us, so we're way more crisp over here.
yeah, absolutely. And for those of you
Yeah,
listening, this is
I
not
mean-
scripted. All right. So competitors, are we ready?
Wait, so we're just doing straight up objections.
Who's going first? Or everybody does the same objection.
So what do you want to do, Brian? You want to do one objection per person or the same objection the whole way around?
Well, we can do one per person, and if someone
We'll get through more objections that way.
if someone thinks they have a better version of it, then let's absolutely hear it.
Yeah. I like it.
Like we want to end up with the best possible rebuttal for an objection. But what's this randomized thing you're speaking of, man?
Oh, I got a little dice app on the phone here.
High tech.
Okay, I was like, what is he?
Next-
What kind of
Next
wizardry?
level.
If Nate says something's high tech, like be intimidated. But
he just showed his
we're just
hand.
talking about a piece of dice on an app. Got
Yes.
it.
Yes. Okay. Let's see.
Well, while he figures that out, we got a fan of the show who I was recently texting saying that Logan and Dylan, who he had said are possibly his two favorite episodes. I sent you guys that text. Kevin from Michigan, very good looking guy. And, I feel okay to say that because he is my twin brother. Had said that these are probably his two favorite episodes. And I said, hey, just coincidentally, guess who's coming on the show together? But what he had said about what those two episodes do for him is they make him stop carrying, and I'm reading this, stop carrying a bucket of excuses and objections into the customer's house with me. As in, boy, this one's going to hurt some feelings. I know. Mine included. You know, when I ran calls, I did this from time to time. There were certain homes I would pull up in front of. I would go ahead and disqualify them from being able to own my products, right?
Yep.
Especially early in the career. It's to go in there with the mindset that everyone is going to purchase from you. If you find a need, they're going to want what you present, and we're going to make it happen. Who's the, is it Weldon Long? Everyone trust me.
Gene Slade.
Is it?
Yep, Gene Slade. You say in your everybody but trust
me, everybody buys from me. Yeah. Kudos to Gene. It's a great thing. They look in the rear view mirror on the way there and just say, everyone trusts me, everyone buys from me.
Yep.
Now, it should be because you're trustworthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you're not convincing yourself.
No, we start on that foot with these podcasts, when training. You know, we're sitting in the conference room recording this episode, and we sit in here before we hire people, and integrity is the number one thing. If we can find a reason in that conference room to think that we're missing integrity, it's a wrap.
Absolutely.
So to go in there thinking that this is going to happen on every call, it is so easy to walk in there and find the reason they're going to say no before you ask them. And you got to get that poison out of your mind. And as I see it, having trained guys now for 9 years as a career instead of, even when I was in a truck doing well, I was training guys, but now doing it as a career for 9 years, I see the biggest thing that stops most people is you decide what the objection is before you present, and either don't present as a result or present knowing they're going to say no anyway, and that is the biggest tech killer right there. He also said Logan should write a sales book called I Don't Even Have a Ladder. Because you'd have to listen to his episode again or for the first time to understand what that means. We're not going to go into it. So let's hear it, Minnick.
All right, boys. So as I mentioned earlier, this is completely off the cuff for these gentlemen. No scripted answers here. This is all just going to be live and in person. So let's see. Logan, you're going to be numbers 1 and 2. Dylan, you'll be 3 and 4. And Brian, you're going to be 5 and 6. Dice says number 1. All right. Logan, you're up, buddy.
Wait. So if you roll the dice, it lands on a 1 or 2. It's Logan.
It's Logan.
If it lands on a 3 or 4, it's Dylan.
Yep.
If it lands on 5 or 6, it's me.
Bingo.
Like, I'm not a guest, bro.
Who's giving me the objection?
I am. I am
Okay.
the objection master.
Such an ugly customer when
Let's go.
Thank you.
really makes it tough, bro. I see him role play with the techs here in training. It's like, ugh. He's so dry and matter of fact.
Thank you, Brian.
As a customer, you're purely acting. Your acting chops are nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mad props here.
Thank you. All right. Logan. Okay. Hey, it sounds like you got some really good stuff there, Logan. I'm just not quite sure. I need to talk to my wife about it.
Oh, okay, Nate. That's fine. If I was at my home, I'd want to run it by my boss too. I know how it goes. Is there any way we could get her on the phone?
She's actually a nurse, and they have a policy at the hospital, no phones between shifts. So
okay.
She can't check.
Okay. So you just need to run this by your wife. Is it just price, or do you want to get her? I mean, you probably ought to get her opinion on it, if she feels the same way you do.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you're saying. We definitely make our financial decisions together, but I also want to make sure that she's on board with the whole concept.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. Is there actually, what time does she get off today?
Let's see, 7 tonight.
Okay. Is it okay if I call you later tonight, give you guys about an hour to talk about it? Then I call you, or would you rather just schedule a revisit appointment for me?
Oh, wow. And is that something that you do?
Oh, yeah. I typically, look, I'm going to level with you. I make a situation, and if I make a decision in my home that's more than $100, my wife wants to know why. I get it. I don't want you in the doghouse, and I don't want her being mad at me. So, yeah, I would actually prefer that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it'll suit tonight. Could I get back to you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Why don't I follow up with you? How long do you need?
Give me till tomorrow.
Okay, so if I don't hear anything by tomorrow, I'll call you. Is that fair?
That sounds fair.
Perfect.
Awesome. I like it. Brian, Dylan, feedback?
The one thing I did slightly differently, which I love that. It was so sincere, even telling him he should get her opinion, not asking. I mean, he kind of asked and he said, but you definitely want to get her opinion at least. I nailed it down more. I just asked when she would be home. And I would say, so I would ask the question, which part do you feel like you need to talk to her about the most? Is it the money, or is it the whole what's going in, or where is that at? And if you said it's just the money, I would say, where do you think she's going to be?
Give yourself an idea.
Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no way, 10 being get it done tomorrow. Where do you think she's going to be? And if he says a 9, then I'll just say, when can I come back and talk about the paperwork with you? If it's like the whole she wants to know about the plumbing. I was a plumber. And I would say, what time does she get off? 7 o'clock. What time does she usually get home? 7:45. I don't know what time you guys go to bed, but would 8:15, 8:30 be a good time for me to swing back by and help you explain what all we're doing? I mean, I know it's fresh on your memory now, but by the time she gets home, you're probably going to remember none of this. So I'd be fine to come back and help you explain it to her the way I explained it to you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I wouldn't really ask if, I just say or yes or no necessarily. I just say, let's get together.
Okay.
And then also another effective tool there is you can offer 2 different times or days or whatever to come sit down with both of them. That's a fact that he's excited now and understands fully the product, but by the time she gets home, he's forgotten everything, and the questions she's going to ask him are way over his head. That's almost always the case. Yep. So you definitely want to get back in front of him, help him out with that part. If she wants to know about the plumbing, if she just wants to know about the cash, the money, and he thinks she's at a 9, he's probably right.
That's if he's even telling the truth.
I feel by this point, you know who you're dealing with, right?
Yep.
You know if you're dealing with someone who's just trying to get you out of the house or is dead serious about wanting to get this done but needs to check with mama. We're all married.
Yeah.
If we're talking about a $13,000 job, we're darn sure going to run it by the spouse.
Yep.
Excellent. What do you think, Dylan? Any feedback?
Very similar how I would run it. Kind of a lockdown in the sense of obviously he's doing it on the cusp, so I know it's changing, but we can pick it apart. But I would same thing out of this. So what option are we looking at? What option are we looking at going over with her? What option did you like? And with that, yes, she's going to be off at 7. Or what time would she be off? She's going to be off at 7 today. What time is going to be best for me to come back? Because realistically, I know you're going to have questions. The easiest thing for me to do is present it to you and answer all your questions at once, so we don't have more questions, and we're kind of keep on going back and forth. So the best thing for us is set an appointment. What time works best for you? 8 o'clock tonight. I nurse, so I assume she works 3 on, 3 off. Or do we want to set it when we're both available? We could all meet together and go over the solution.
Love
it. We
it.
kind of put it right there.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, way to start us off there, Logan.
Yep.
All right, hit the screen there. Oh, he draws his own number again. That's tough, bro.
Yeah, guess who picked the app, Dylan? Get comfortable, buddy. We're just going to sit here and critique Logan all day.
Just start picking up.
All right. Hey, Logan, thanks so much for explaining this to me. I got to be honest, I've spent a lot of money when your man Dylan was over here a couple weeks ago. And, we have a lot of projects in the house that need addressed. We're trying to balance and prioritize which ones we need to do. Dylan made it very convincing that we need to address the plumbing issues. I see what you're saying with the electrical stuff right now, but we just, we're spread a little thin, and we can't address these things right now.
Okay. Do you at least see the value in what I'm saying with what needs done?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's very clear what you've laid out.
Okay, so let me ask you something, Nate, on a personal level. What kind of work did you do with Dylan? Did you bring everything up as a safety standpoint, or was it like a convenience water softening?
So, I mean, we had an initial drain clog, and he did the whole camera thing or whatever tool he used and showed that our line had a belly in it. And, in other homes, we've had significant backup issues, and we don't ever want to be dealing with that stuff again. So we replaced, you saw the missing grass out front, but we replaced the entire sewer line out to the curb.
Okay. So you don't want to deal with that again. May I ask what safety issues that presents if your drain backs up?
Well, I suppose we could get sick if we had sewer in our basement. It's more of a massive inconvenience. I don't know if you've ever tried to clean up from even water in the basement. It's a pain, but we have a nice finished basement downstairs, if you've seen, and the last thing we want to do is have anything down there ripping it apart. Sure.
So here's the funny thing about 90% of homeowners, including myself. We do the things that we use every day, such as the plumbing, the HVAC, but what we don't realize is that all doesn't matter if that electric's not going to shut off when there's a fault. That is all irrelevant. So how much money you're pretty much gambling the money you gave Dylan by not getting the safety stuff done.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and did Dylan offer you financing?
Yes, we did finance through that process.
Okay. So, I mean, I can add it on to that. It all comes down to what is safety worth to you? What's important to you? When does safety stop?
Yeah. Well, it is very important. I hadn't thought about the financing piece before. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, we can add it right on. We'll add it right on to his, and we'll work together, see what I can give you for doing work with both of us.
Okay. Boys, what do you think?
So this one's it's a tough one for most of our listeners that operate out of a single shop. It's like a single brand shop. So this one only pertains to if you're a dual branded or tri-branded shop where you have plumbing, electrical, and HVAC or some combination of the two. It's also a tough objection because you have no idea at this point what was actually presented.
Yeah.
So was it safety issues? Was it elective issues? Like for me, it probably would have been upgrading to a tankless from a 50-gallon electric or what have you, or upgrading to some water treatment where you have none now, or adding some water treatment. But the way Logan laid it out to me was perfect in really kind of opening up the conversation to understand what they had done and why they had it done. So are they purely safety people? And that was not the case for what Nate had done at the home with the sewer line. He said, his words, it was really more of a convenience issue. Have you ever had to clean up sewage in the basement? These were your customers' actual words. It was perfect for you to go into convenience issues
electric.
Of whatever we're presenting. Now, we're going to present vastly different stuff, and
Sure.
as are most of our listeners. But whatever you're doing, if you're listening to the words he was using, which is all you have, in your arsenal for this job, he's given you exactly how to sell him,
Yep.
right? The convenience factor. And then what you did do was flawless, like talking about asking if he financed, finding out he did, and then talking about, let's find out if we can, how much was left on that financing and we can add to it. When you reminded him of the monthly payment option, he lit up.
Yep.
He wanted this job done now. So yeah, great job, Logan. I just wanted to bring it to the other, maybe we were talking about indoor air quality products or water treatment products. I want to make sure we bring it over to that level as well, but
Sure.
that's how you do it. You got anything there, D?
Yeah, so I would, again, the biggest key factors on when we do this is health and safety at all times, right? That's for plumbing, that's for electrical, for HVAC. So he did mention, I didn't want the sewage. Well, that's great. You checked off the health, but now let's check off the safety. So those are the biggest things we look in a home is health and safety, right? So yes, you do one, but the other is just as important. So the electrical is just as important as a safety factor. Obviously, you don't know. As not a licensed electrician, this thing needs to be done prior to making sure you have a full functional safe house. So yes, that's where okay is the opposite. How did you pay, and what payment did you take for the sewer? Oh, it's financing. Perfect. So if I was to add it to the financing, if you had available, would that work for you? And we just roll it all in the one monthly payment?
Yep.
And then you kind of see in Bob. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to get Green Sky Service Finance, Good Leaf, whatever you guys use, and see if we could just roll it in. Give me like 10 to 15 minutes. We'll take a look at it.
Great.
I just kind of direct it to the financing, right?
Yep.
All right, Brian, hit that button.
Come on, 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
5. Drew myself.
Heading
Is that how that works? Who's going to draw Dylan?
Heading to Mr.
Biometric screening.
Heading to Mr. Burton. All right. Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for talking to us about our water heater here. I appreciate, you responding and coming out and helping us out tonight. We don't plan to move forward. We do have a friend of ours that's actually he does this type of thing for us. And unfortunately, we just couldn't get a hold of him tonight. But any work hereafter, we're just going to contact him. So I appreciate you taking care of us tonight. We were kind of in a tight place, but we're just going to talk to him for the replacement.
So, and I'm maybe time outing here. Did we make a repair that got them back up and running? Or
Yeah, we'll say that my water heater was not working. You made a repair to get me back up and with hot water tonight, or you're recommending making the repair or the replacement. And I'm saying, hey, Brian, I think that's probably a better way of phrasing it. I think I'd just like to go with the repair tonight. A buddy of mine does this type of work, and I'm sure he could do the replacement for us.
Okay. Do you place any value on the fact that despite it being tonight, we were able to get out here and take care of you and get you some hot water?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very grateful for that.
So if you don't mind me asking, why is it that you would choose to have your friend do the work instead of us?
I mean, if I'm being perfectly blunt, he's a buddy of mine, so he usually does it on the cheap.
Meaning he would be lower priced than us.
Yes.
Do you know that to be the case for sure, or?
I mean, I didn't ask him what he would cost. We haven't discussed replacing our water heater, but based on the price you're showing me there for that option, I'm pretty confident it'd be less than that.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, I don't mean to sound rude or pushy, is there any value to the fact that we're able to get out here at night? And I don't mean for this repair, but I mean in the almost inevitable event that you get a new water heater put in and there's some kind of issue with it down the road.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, we haven't had a lot of plumbing issues, to begin with, but we certainly are very thankful that you were able to respond so quickly tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it was great to come out and see you guys this evening.
Yeah.
As plumbers always love to come out in the evening and repair water heaters. If you don't mind me asking, would you mind bringing your wife in here for this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on over.
Hey, Mrs. Minnick.
Hey.
Is it important to you that we're able to get out here in the evening and get you hot water?
Yes.
The reason I ask that is I don't know where the friend is. I don't know if the friend is a licensed plumber, if the friend, is backed by a insured, bonded company, if the friend, rolls around a fully stocked truck or actually knows what he's doing with something like this that allows gas to come into the home and pulls carbon monoxide out of the home. But when you're dealing with something like this, a water heater with these kind of safety issues with it, would you agree that you want someone who's licensed, insured, backed by a reputation dealing with it?
Yes.
Okay. So do you guys know if your friend is a licensed plumber or anything like that?
I don't know. He does this stuff on the side.
Okay. So you said it is important to you. How important is it to you that you have someone like us doing the kind of work that brings gas into the home and carbon monoxide out?
Important enough that we called you instead of him.
Is it important in terms of a little bit more money?
Yes.
I fully agree that your friend, if he just does this kind of work on the side, is going to be less money than having me do it. A lot of money went into me being trained and obtaining the license I have and the, insurance and backing of the company that backs me and the hundreds of years of experience we have total at the company. But what you are paying for in that case is the peace of mind knowing that this job is done right. And you can ask your friend if he does it right, but can you really know for sure?
No.
It would be tough to know for sure.
Yep.
And let me tell you, if I'm here to, put some new washers and springs in a Delta kitchen faucet, and you're telling me you have a friend who knows how to rebuild Delta kitchen faucets, I'm the first one to tell you, let me get out of your way, because you don't need to pay me twice as much or 3 times as much to do something like that. And just to be frank with you, that's something I would probably say just have him do. But again, we're talking about, something with this level of electricity coming into this electric water heater or gas and carbon monoxide on a gas water heater. In that case, if I'm speaking to my mom, in Stevens, Pennsylvania, and she's asking me what she should do as a plumber, I'm telling her pay the extra and have the real plumber do it.
Yep.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Now,
Nice.
I carry one of these on the truck. We can leave this thing buttoned up and hope for the best, and maybe your friend comes out. Or, this thing's 9 years old. It's 3 years out of its warranty. I've got all the stuff to do this effectively, safely, and efficiently and have you a brand new one put in right now. And we can take this money you were about to spend on this repair anyway and fold it right into that brand new water heater. Would you like me to get that done for you?
That seems like a really good idea.
All right, let's take care of it. I was hoping you'd say no because we could get into asking 2 or 3 more times.
We'll get there. Dylan, what's your feedback on that, man?
That's a tough one, right? So it's a role, but yeah, I think again, the health, safety, warranties, we're there at night. What is the difference, right? What's going to happen when your warranty goes up when the thing fails in 3 years? You have to repay again. So now you're paying double because you're redoing it. So it's even more expensive. Why don't you just have us do it right the first time? We're going to do just like the checks. We're going to do the health and safety checks. Make sure it's healthy and safe for your home. Also, carbon monoxide, gas. This is not something just any Joe Schmo or handyman could be. That's why we're licensed technicians and they're licensed plumbers to knock this out. And then where's your warranty going to go? Is he move? Is he going to come back when there's a problem? Like these things are times metal. I'm not going to say they're perfect or you're going to have a problem, but if they do, who's going to fix it? What is that going to do for you over time? Right? You're just going to spend more money. It's cheaper up front, but long term it's more money. And then I'll be back, and then we're going to charge you again. So I understand it's initially cheaper up front, but long term it just becomes way more expensive.
Love it. Good stuff. All right, Dylan, we're turning to you, buddy. We're calling an audible in this dice game. We're just going straight to you. All right, let's do.
Let me see that dice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just making sure, buddy. I want you stacking the deck over here.
Let's do this. Okay. Hey, Dylan, thanks so much for coming out and helping us with our drain clog tonight. I understand that you're recommending that we replace the entire line, and I see some of the, the value that you're bringing there. Frankly, we've been in this house for 25 years, and we haven't had to do anything to this extent before. And I think really at this point, you got the line open for us, and I think that's going to be sufficient for now. I mean, we haven't really needed this in the past, and fingers crossed we're not going to need it for another 25 years. So appreciate you're getting us up and running tonight, but I think it's going to be a no for now.
Absolutely. I understand. We did give you multiple solutions. So I know you're looking at the premium solution, but there are 4 more solutions below this. So there are 2 mid-range, there are also 2 economy. But you did clog up for a reason. Like you said, you haven't clogged up for 25 years, but we go to 2 different clients. We go to clients that have this every 6 months, and we go to other clients like yourself, which do it every 25 years. But the piping is still the same. So realistically, yes, I know we got going today, but the pipe itself, we ran the camera, we've seen that the actual pipe itself is damaged. So initially, is this something you want to reoccur? Who found the sewage back up in the shower?
Who found it? Like in our family, you mean?
Yeah, who noticed it?
Yeah, I was the unfortunate victim there.
How did you see it? It was like all in the shower. Did it come out the bottom of the toilet as well?
Yes, it. Let's just say made for a really rough morning.
Yeah, so I can imagine we see this all the time. And realistically, being proactive versus reactive, you already had a reactive state of it being clogged. The worst thing that I have is that you're not going to address it until this happens again. Is that correct?
I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, that's not really how I don't want it to happen again. Put it.
and absolutely, and I don't assume, and I would not want it to happen. But again, we've cameraed it. We've seen it. It's really the piping is the issue. This is the house built in 1960s. This is the original cast iron under the roof. The issue that we're having, and I understand that you want to prolong it and hopefully cross your fingers, but we've already cut down that time frame. You've seen the evidence. You've seen it there. And really, the concern is that this is going to happen. It's going to continue happening, and we just want to make sure we get ahead of it before it causes more damage to your house later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it like that way before.
So again, I know you're looking at the complete replacement, but what other option on this paper may fit your budget to get you at least results? Because every option on this paper will provide a solution for that too, and removing that root.
Right. All right, boys, what do you think about that one?
The only thing I would do differently, that was good, but focus more on the fear of loss. You set yourself up with who saw this happen. That was your prime example to say, well, what if nobody was here? What would happen then? Would your house just fill up with sewage and just rot the floor, the drywall, all that stuff away? And then how much would you have spent on the repair versus just doing it before that happened?
Typical Sparky doesn't know that you have to turn water on to fill a drain. You know what I mean, Dylan?
Hey, I don't know.
Well, I mean, to his point, there could have been some sewage in the pipes, but now your toilet's running. And Dylan and I have seen this before. I'm sure you've seen this before. I know I have, where sewage is coming up and out because a toilet runs and it's running clean water into it, but it already had some sewage backed up. and next thing you know, coming out the front door.
I've seen it where the city's backed up, flooded a house 2 inches all the way across.
Yeah, all right. Good point, Logan. I just wanted to make fun of Sparkies because, Dylan,
Great-
what the
great
heck are we
point.
doing here if we're not making fun of
No, I
Sparkies
don't
for
know.
crying out loud?
Haters fuel me.
All right. Let's see. Logan, hit that dice again, buddy.
Come on, 2.
2.
Oh, he calls it.
Back to Logan. All right. All right, Logan. So you've just presented some repair options.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, Logan, I don't think we're going to be moving forward with any of this. While you were downstairs, I did a quick Google search on like average panel replacement.
Mm-hmm.
It's half according to this website here.
Yeah.
It says it's supposed to be between this and that, and you're twice that. So I think we're probably going to look around a little bit.
That's awesome. When you looked up that panel, did you look up anything with labor, warranties, or didn't it tell you anything about that? Just an average cost?
What it says, like the average total should be this, and then it says typically it takes about this amount of time, and labor is usually within this range. So I mean, give me a little bit of a breakdown.
Sure. So did it tell you anything about emergency response time after it was in?
No, I don't think that was listed.
Okay. Did it tell you anything about what was the quality of people that were going to be installing it in your house?
No.
Okay. So would you agree? I mean, you got a beautiful family here, Nate. Most likely you're the breadwinner. I'm sorry if I offended the wife, but 90% of the houses are you're the breadwinner. You're going to be at work when we're doing this, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. So kids and wife are going to be home.
Sure.
So is there a value on the safety and the quality of people that are in here?
100%.
Okay. Well, we're all federally background checked. That doesn't come at no cost. On top of that, in the middle of the night when something fails, because they possibly can, with the new thing, you always have lemons. When they fail, are you gonna Google who to call, or do you want somebody to just come out?
I would hope the company that I picked had some type of response.
But that wasn't in your average though, right?
That was not calculated in that number, no.
Okay. So my fear for you is you're going to pay that cheaper price, and when this happens again, you're going to have to pay that cheaper price again. So you said I'm half. What's your average times 2 because you're paying twice?
Why would I be paying twice?
Because the quality of work that's going to be there. Then you got service calls involved. Then what if they install it wrong and it doesn't pass inspection? And that wasn't in the number either. Look, I'm a lot like you. I compare everything online. I love Google. I mean, it's awesome for everything. But would you agree there's a difference between a Mercedes and a Honda?
Yes.
So is it fair to say the average price of them is $25,000?
The average price of them?
Yeah, you're talking 2 different spectrums here.
Okay.
So would you pay $50,000 for a Honda, or would
No.
you pay $30,000 for a Mercedes?
No.
Why?
I mean, you got that backwards.
But I'm averaging them. You're saying there's 2 different levels of quality.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
I see
that's
where you're
exactly
going.
what you get with averages. I mean, I can put a cheaper option panel in for you. The price I gave you was for what I would recommend. I can get that aluminum panel installed by somebody with no inspection, no licensing, everything. I can do it for that price. But then when it goes wrong, are you going to be upset with me because I did it at that price? Or are you going to be upset with me because I didn't tell you probably ought to do it this way?
I didn't think about that before.
Yep.
All right. Dylan, what's your take on that one?
I have no idea about panels, but it sounded well. Like I feel like I'm going to buy a more expensive panel for my new house.
Think copper, buddy. Just think copper.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no idea, but it sounds well. Like
So just take it in these terms, Dylan. All he was talking about was quality. He's talking about the Navian panel,
of course.
the Navian tankless versus the Norritz.
But I think this is the ongoing battle that we're going to have, and it's only going to get worse with the Google. Like Googling this, searching this, the internet says this, right? The internet says it's supposed to be $75 per foot, or it's supposed to be this, and it's understanding that you're looking at a wide spectrum. But Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm here now, and as a reputable company, why you called us, this is our pricing, right? This is our pricing. Do it once, right, the first time, right? keep on searching for something. There's always going to be somebody cheaper. Always. Right? But what does that come with? What does cheap come with? And that's what you got to kind of pull yourself apart. But yeah, I think it's done well.
Yeah. Is it possible to give the highest level of service, the highest quality product, and the highest level of warranty standing behind that product for the cheapest price?
No, absolutely not.
Not even for the average price.
Yeah, and you're asking them, so they have to say no, it's not possible. Okay, which one of those four are you willing to sacrifice? Which one are you most willing to cough up? You can say 5 to have, background checked technicians in the home doing this job when you said you're not going to be here, but the family is. Which one of those things are you willing to sacrifice to cough up? Most of our clients, and I'll say our clients as we here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, have up just shy of 7,000 Google reviews with a 4.87 average rating. And most of the clients who gave us that rating chose to sacrifice the lowest price. They wanted all those other things. And I'll ask you one more time. Which one are you willing to sacrifice? Or better, would you sacrifice the lowest price and trust us with the rest of this?
That's good.
And hopefully that answers yes, and then let's get this thing done.
Well, that's why you see in most of the market. I've seen it on one of these Facebook friends of the trade. That's why the most expensive company in the area is the largest company, because they're providing the most, right? So generally the cheapest guy is the middle class guys. They're generally the smallest or cheap companies or small companies. Generally the most premium company is the most expensive, and the biggest companies are the most premium in the area. Like they're just taking over, not because they're cutting corners, because they're doing it right the first time, but they're also backing it with warranties. They're providing obviously on calls, there's inspections. Like there's so much stuff that comes into it that people just totally just try to discredit because you have a handyman friend that can run a drain or dig a hole. I don't know how much I stay away from electrical because I'm scared of it, so I'm not doing it. So yeah. I can imagine there's handyman doing that too, and just ruining things.
I've always said it is the scariest one for me, and I'm in the industry and know how to do it to some extent, and know how to do all three to some extent. But electrical is the one that I try to steer clear of, man. I'm like, I'm not messing around with something that can do all the things that faulty electrical work can do.
Well, by the time you hear or see it, it's too late.
Yeah, something bad happened.
Yep.
Doesn't mean catastrophic, but not good.
Right. In
any case. And like he said earlier, the power goes out, you got nothing. You got no, especially me, I'm on a well pump. So if I don't have power, I don't even have water.
That new tankless water heater works real good without power, don't it?
Well, yeah, I apprenticed as a heating, electrical, and plumbing technician. And I remember being on an electrical site. They did a rewire. They ran some, I don't even know, they ran some piping or some new wire. And it was live. I had no idea. I was 18. They're like, oh, just go move that. And I touched metal and it freaking sparked all over the place. And I was like, oh, going straight back to plumbing. I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here. Like, this is beyond me. Sewers, drains, and taking water here. I'm straight there. I never went. After that day, I never went back to the electrical team.
All right, Dylan, we are headed to you. So here comes the objection. Hey, Dylan, thanks a lot for walking me through the different options we have here. I'll be straightforward with you. I'm a 3 quotes minimum type of guy. So I'm going to take what you have here. I'm going to call 2 other guys, and then I'll let you know.
So there's 3 quotes. So that's wonderful. The great thing about this, I give you 6 different options. Those are 6 different quotes from other companies that are going to provide you one option. What option are you looking at doing?
I was thinking, I liked
which one do you like?
Yeah, I liked what you were talking about there in the middle range, the 3 and 4.
That's an amazing option. What do you like about that option?
Well, I think they would suit well with our family and our financial, what I'd be comfortable in the spending range. But my dad told me you always get 3 quotes, man. And so that's just kind of a rule that I've played by.
I understand, and I understand that, but that's why we do this wonderful thing of providing these 6 different options. We provided the most premium, the most expensive option, down to the bare minimum. And generally, right in the middle was most people pick because, again, that's the most value that you're going to get. Again, premium is a little bit above and beyond. You don't need a whole house sewer replacement. You don't need a whole house repipe. But you do need to get this repaired. And I understand the 3 options. What is do you understand our warranties? Do you understand our 24-hour guarantees? Did I explain that all correctly to you?
Yes, and it's very impressive.
So are you looking just for pricing? Are you looking, or do we fit as a company for you?
No, I really like you guys. It's just been kind of, maybe it's something I just do it out of habit and I'm not sure, but it's just been kind of the thing. I don't want to get taken advantage of. I want to make sure that I'm getting what I want for the price that I need.
Absolutely. Here's what I can offer, right? If we go ahead and we work forward today, you have 30 days to shop my bid. If there's something apples to apples, I'll credit towards it and I'll match it. But if they're a licensed bonded contract doing the same exact work and they will match our company's price, but I guarantee you won't find it. With our warranties and our expectations and the jobs are done, you won't even be looking for it. Would that work for you?
Wow. That's very generous. Yes, I think that would be a good option.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and get that signature today.
My man. All right, boys. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, you got there. You got it at the end. When it comes to the 3 quotes, my favorite thing is, what do you seek to gain by getting the other quotes?
Come on, buddy. What's the word? What's the word we use? What
are you looking for? What are you looking for exactly by getting 3 other quotes?
What exactly are you looking for in that quote?
Yep. And
so you're clearly trying to funnel down to an answer.
Yeah, it's price.
What's the question?
It's the price.
Yep. What's the question? We need them to say it. We don't want to give them the answer, but by getting 3 quotes, you as a homeowner are trying to funnel down to one thing. What is that thing?
Quality.
And you hope they say price. They're going to say price. They think they want the lowest price. And that's when you get back to, here are the things you will, here's something you will have to sacrifice to get the absolute lowest price. Of those things and the price, which one are you willing to sacrifice? You're going to find that people are saying, I'll sacrifice all of them for the lowest price. Guess what? If you're listening to this, you're probably not for them.
Yep.
My guess is
Absolutely.
Nobody who listens to this podcast works for the kind of company that's going to go in and sacrifice all those other things to give the client the absolute lowest bid.
Those are the people that comment on Facebook about us.
Yeah, get used to it. You're going to see them. That's why we don't have a 5-star Google average, because those people exist. I don't want to do business with them, and you shouldn't either.
And with price, Brian, I think a big thing to say, people say price. They don't mean $7 versus $10.
Right.
They mean the everything that comes with the price.
Value.
The value, right.
They want the most value for the least amount of money.
Yep.
They won't typically sacrifice value when you really bring it up to them.
Yep.
So if they can find 2 companies that will provide the exact same value and one is 10% less, they're going to go with them. That's what they're looking for.
Yep.
We don't have too much of that around here, so we don't have to worry about it.
And Dylan, I really liked your, you kind of mentioned in there, like, hey, I've provided you with all these options. This essentially is the other quotes. Like, I am providing you with the other quotes. Here's the high option, here's the low option, here's the middle option. That's a great take.
Yeah, that was good.
There's only going to be different ways.
That was good that you said 6 quotes. I'm not to confuse things, but as we talked about in your episode, I'm one who presented, later in my career, I just got to the point where I was presenting one option. Here's what we need to take care, all the things we need to take care of. But I can see where you presenting multiple options in this case right here is crucial to say, well, here you go. Here's 6 quotes. we doubled what you were looking for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's where it is. Here's the mom and pop. Here's the premium, right? Here's the little isolated repair that you're looking for, the Band-Aid, or just the economy option, and here's the premium. Again, and when I present my options, I'll tell them, to even build it, I'm telling them option one above and beyond. If money was an issue, everybody would pick option 1. Yep. And I'm not saying it's the best because I don't want it to seem like I'm only trying to sell them, right? But every option on this paper is going to provide you a solution and get it going today. So we're going to sit down and we'll provide these options. We're going to pick a solution today, and we're going to go get started. Does that work? Perfect. And kind of you delegate the conversation, right? You're not leaving it open for I'm going to get other bids. Like, I'm here. We're here. We're sitting down. We're going to start work. You called us. We're working today.
You know, we talked about this in our training room a couple weeks ago, and it's something that, you know, it's a good thing to point out and always be cognizant of. Aside from the fact that, you know, the people who listen to shows like this, and I won't just say Waste No Day, but this type of thing are if not among the highest level communicators, like just people you want to chat with in the industry. They're on their way to being that by listening to things like this and taking time out of their week to do this. Don't discount the fact that if they're going to have 2 other companies out, they're going to have those techs out that, you know, are like the ones you used to work with at that old crappy company. Mm-hmm. The grumpy, you know, you're privileged enough to have me in your home today. You know, how dare you, sir?
Last call of the day because they only have 2.
Super entitled or just grumpy or just filthy, you know, nasty versions of what we do in our trades. It's going to be a very unpleasant experience for our clients. It's going to be it's almost guaranteed to be less pleasant than us being there. And to point out the fact that you're really planning on taking more time out of your busy day, either doing what you need to be doing or doing what you want to be doing. To have this happen to you 2 more times and say it, this happened to you. And you're almost guaranteed to get someone less pleasant than myself because I am pretty charming and I'm good at my job. And, you know, point that out jokingly and laugh with them. But to say that I would like to save you from having to do this 2 more times. Let's take care of it. We seem to have good chemistry. We hit it off. Like, don't risk having someone come in here that's going to ruin your day.
I've already asked people that. What do I have to do to save you from the headache of having my competitors out that are going to provide you with a not very desirable experience?
All right, Logan, so let's go back to you here for one final objection for you to handle, all right?
Okay.
Let's see. All right, Logan, hey, listen, I appreciate what you're trying to lay out for me here. I'll be frank with you. I don't have a lot of days left in my life. I'm at the end of my life. My son told me that we don't need to be spending any more money, and I'm not going to be around here to be enjoying it anyways. So I appreciate it, but it's a no.
Whew, Dylan, so glad we didn't get that one, buddy.
When's your expiration date?
High five.
When's my expiration date?
That's what I would say.
That was so bad. He was sitting there just like feeling so bad.
I know, man. My gosh, what?
And so you say you don't have a lot of time left. When's your time?
Well, nobody knows the answer to that, but the doctors say that it'll probably be in the next year or so.
Okay. So the next year or so, do you want to have it as carefree as you can, or do you want to have the most problems?
I do, but I'm also thinking more than just myself here. You know, I have my family to think of. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and they, you know, I'm not looking to burden them with anything here. I want to provide as much as I can to them and their families. So
let me ask you this, Nate. When I hate talking about death, but apparently that's what we're talking about here. When you pass away, all the responsibilities of the house go with you?
No, that's all handed out in the will.
Okay. So then do you believe that it's burdening them more dealing with their father passing away? Now they got to worry about an electrical panel, a hot water heater, and all that stuff. Don't you kind of want to have things set up for them?
I suppose that there would be some merit to that, yes.
I mean, and let's be honest with each other here. I mean, I've heard personally had an experience where the doctor told my uncle that he was going to live for 2 months, and 10 years later he passed away. You know, you can't live through life looking at your expiration date. You gotta, let's make that last year or two enjoyable for you. I can tell you, if you don't fix the problems and you let them go, you're going to wish it was only a year.
Wow.
we do offer 12 months no interest financing too, so we do not have to pay anything a year.
You might not even have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's so hard.
That is a tough one, Logan, and I appreciate your humor through it. And I think there is a lot of advantage of, presenting it in such a way that you don't want to leave a burden to the next generation, because that is a reality of that situation where, like, hey, okay, maybe you're not going to be around to have to deal with the problems, but somebody is, whether you're selling the house and it's going to have to go through home inspection and it's going to get pointed out there, or whether they're keeping the house and somebody from their family is moving back in, taking over the house, then they're still right back in the same issue, that it's needed either way. And so I think, that's a delicate topic. You have to dance around a little bit, but you did some good conversations through it.
I did a call one time. It's funny. A lady's husband passed away.
Here comes a Loganism, Dylan.
It's not necessarily funny, but a lady's husband passed away. And I came in and I told her, hey, this is all that's wrong. She's like, he's literally had you guys here for the last 10 years. And she was so mad because he was cheap throughout those 10 years. She was mad at him. Even though he had just passed away, she was like, I can't believe he would have left me with that. From that point on, that was like, you shouldn't feel that way about your deceased. You shouldn't hold that against them.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And there probably is a lot of merit to involving the family and helping understand that entire conversation too. Yep. Dylan, have you come across that one?
Absolutely. I've seen, that's the word probably my Achilles heel is I fold. I just feel so, I try to grab it, but then obviously then you're not really trying to rebuttal too aggressively. You're just trying to just make logic. Like, yeah, like especially with plumbing, like unfortunately, in order for you to have hot water or cold water for the next year, we got to do something, right? If you want to have a working toilet, and if you have a nurse or something like that, like we got to at least do a minimal repair, right? So again, when I don't kind of delegate, kind of pushing or kind of promoting the top options, I kind of just put them right in the middle to low end, because we have to do something, and especially if it's something that's causing your day-to-day issue like plumbing is. We got to do something to repair it, because you can't even have a functional sewer system, hot water system, to even use it. You can't move out, but then they could say to go to hospice. But yeah, just trying to figure out, and trying to get the kids involved, because it has to be an educated decision, and making sure that it's going to be beneficial for them in the long run. And sometimes they shut you down. Most of the time they shut you down.
Yeah, and
they don't want to spend.
It's not always
money.
with the kids too. I've had this one where it feels like several times in Las Vegas I had this one where it was just one old man by himself, and I got this long to live and I have no family, or I have family, and you go, well, don't you want to take care of things for them? And they go, no, I don't care, like at all. It's a zero. And to Logan's point in the beginning of that, wouldn't you like to have things just lined up and taken care of so you can not have to worry about this toward the end? It's like, imagine at 9:00 at night coming downstairs or coming out of your room to go to the bathroom, and you try to flip the light on and it doesn't work. What are you going to do right now? And then you're going to call around. Maybe you get us. Maybe you get some company you really don't want, someone much less pleasant than me, to come out and install crew who's just full of grumpy electricians, which, the electrical industry is full of, versus having me write this up for you, having our install team come out who are just pleasant young people who you will enjoy having at the home. They're clean like me. They run a very clean job site. They will be as minimally invasive as possible. We'll try to make it so you barely know they're here, and we'll get you all taken care of, squared away. So this is one thing that you won't have to worry about for your last days here. And that's all you got.
Right.
I mean, that's all you got. You got to take care of the
family.
family.
They say no, it's just rough. Or they say yes, yeah.
But what you do have is the opportunity to do that, to try to, in every scenario, when you get an objection, is just to make sure that this isn't someone who really wants this to happen, but they are thinking this one thing is keeping it from happening. And if you give them a rebuttal, which is what they're really designed to do, and you say, hey, how about this? And it makes sense to them, they will do it. The big thing, the big reason people don't try to overcome objections is we all just kind of naturally think when the objection comes up, they have no interest in doing this and they're just trying to get me out of there.
Yep.
You don't know that. And that's probably true 15, 20% of the time. I bet 80% of our clients want to do it. The objection actually means something to them. And when you overcome that objection with the rebuttal, you give them the real opportunity to do it. And so many of them say yes. But you got to start with asking for the business.
All right, Dylan, last one for the show today is coming to you. You ready?
Yes, sir.
This is actually a two-part objection texted in by our plumbing team. So here we go. Dylan, listen, all you guys ever try to do is come at me with the same script. Your electricians, your HVAC guys, they're all coming in here. You're just going to do a simple inspection, blah, blah, blah. And I end up spending $15,000. In fact, I'm still paying off the bill from the last year that the guy came out and said, I'm just here to do an inspection. So I'm not buying today. All right. Just do what you need to do, and then we're done.
Okay. And I understand, ma'am, or sir, ma'am. This is something that we do routinely, and I understand and I hear you. But the concern that we are bringing are solutions and results to provide the health and safety of your home. And if we can agree, the health and safety of your house is what we're here for. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree with that. Although I have to say, like, sometimes it feels like, I get a little confused because it seems like, oh yes, the house is working perfectly fine. And then you guys come back to me with this rap sheet of, 10 things that need addressed.
And that's what your plumbing inspections or home inspections are for, is to give you proactive and reactive solutions. Not every solution needs to be done today, but there are some things that we need to address to make sure we keep this in moving order. Everything has a working part. Everything has a timeline. You use the toilets, use the showers, use the water heater, use the sewer. Everything has. Nothing's going to last forever in a home. Do we agree on that? And you guys, you have a pretty large family. You guys are using it pretty thoroughly. The washing machine, everything goes in working order all the time. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is just make sure that you are proactive on it. Again, not causing more damage later. If this sewer line or if this faucet breaks or damages, what are we looking at later? What is the damage that's going to cause? So again, these plumbing inspections have a proactive approach to address all these before they become a major concern and cost you double or triple your investment on these. And that's what we're really trying to do at this point. To make sure that you take care of it before it becomes a major issue and causes you twice down the road. And that's what these plumbing inspections are always there for. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying, but it just gets old, to be perfectly blunt. It gets old after a while because, I'm not made of money over here, man.
Absolutely. So you did mention the work that you did perform with us. What did you do?
I don't even remember everything. It had to do with the furnace. The guy came out and said that we needed some repairs, and we got some of those virus killing things or whatever you guys do. We got all that taken care of, and I think it was the right move, but I just get tired of the same old, hey, here you go. Here's some things you should consider.
Absolutely. And so again, you take care. There's several different systems in your house. So obviously we're here to do the plumbing. It sounds like you took care of your HVAC. I understand that this is going to continue in the next year, but what did you like that called us back? What is the safety inspection? What do you like about our company that we're providing this whole service for you?
Well, I really do like the fact that you actually tell me what's wrong, and there's ways of solving it. But my house is only so old; it can only have so many things going wrong, right?
Absolutely, and that's one of the concerns. Again, there's a checklist. There's different options. Again, not every option has to be done correct, right now, but here's something that needs to be addressed before they cause more failure and more damage. And that's what we're trying to do here, man. We're just trying to provide, sir. I don't know what kind of calling you, man. That's what we're trying to do here, sir. Just making sure that we proactively approach this so it doesn't cost you more money. We're really trying to make sure that you save the most money possible in the long term.
How am I going to save money if I'm spending more money?
Due to the fact that if this water line or sewer line breaks, damages are causing more issues, what is the damage going to cause to your home? If this faucet pops off and floods the house and causes more damage, how much is that going to be?
Okay, yeah.
You said it's been leaking for 4 months, right?
Right.
You just been putting it off.
Right.
The toilet handle has been leaking. The toilet has been dripping. How much is your water bill every month?
Yeah.
Because you're not fixing the small leaks. So everything that we're trying to do is proactively save you money in the long term. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
So again, the options that we're providing are just for solutions to correct it and have it cheap, less expensive now. Yes, it's an upfront payment. Yes, it's an investment. But long term is to save you money.
Right.
And I hope that you can understand that we are only in good faith trying to make sure that you save, we do it correctly, we do it right, and we save you money long term.
Well, I appreciate that perspective, Dylan. All right, boys, what do you think of that one?
It's tough. That's a tough one. I guess exactly what you did, bring value. You know, you're frustrated that we give you a new bill every time, but you pay it and you call us back. So like, you must know that it needs done. It sounds like with that objection, most of the time they didn't have a good experience with the tech before. That sounds like why they would be objecting all that.
I'm sure you hear that one, Dylan, from time to time. If not in your own career, you've heard it from plenty of other people who you've trained or coached.
Absolutely. And it is a tough one, but again, you don't want to dog AC or electrical, right?
Right.
You didn't need that HVAC system. You didn't need that new panel. But again, you just build it onto like, we're just trying to be proactive. We're trying to save you money, right? This and this is wrong, right? We can't control that. We can just let you know that it needs to be repaired. And the cheapest time to do it is now, or else it's going to cost you more money later. Everything goes up. Every price wasn't gone up. They should have gone up 30 to 40% during COVID, right? Because of how much everything cost.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these objections ultimately do have a root of price in them. It's just camouflaged through various other conversations and words and phrases.
Yep.
Well, this has been fantastic, boys. I really appreciate you lending your time, your expertise, and off-the-cuff answers to some of these objections. These weren't easy layover ones. These were some tough ones, and I hope that the listening audience has appreciated the skill that you guys brought to the table. But really good stuff today. Any closing thoughts that you guys have as we kind of bring things in for a landing here in terms of handling objections or, you know, seeking after those new goals, setting yourself higher and higher, your sights higher and higher, and pursuing them? Love to hear from you. Logan, why don't you start it off for us?
I would honestly say just don't give up. Keep moving. Keep getting over them objections. Start paying attention to them, cracking down on them, and you'll figure it out.
Dylan?
Especially with the objections, understand where you feel was uncomfortable. Understand where you think you failed, so it just doesn't happen the next time. Make that correction. Make adjustments. You're never going to be perfect. I could do the same objection 4 or 5 times and say kind of go around it every time or say different things. The goal is just to be consistent in the base of it, and then just getting better. It has to be a mindset. You can't be stagnant. Every day has to be better every day. If you have a team that pushes you, if you have a person that pushes you, consistently reach out to them. Make sure it's a daily thing. You guys have the team, Logan has, and they're just keep on pushing them. I know there's Jamie, everybody. That's amazing. If you guys can find it, if you guys are a small shop or a small guy, find somebody in your area. Find me on Facebook. Call me. I'll push you every day. I have no problem.
Love it.
Calling you and tell you to be better. So just find somebody to push you.
Find any one of the 4 of us on Facebook, send us a private message, and we will add you to the list of people who get pushed from time to time.
Yep.
We will just want you to go ahead and write an Apple review on the podcast and how great it is and how much it helped you. And share it. And we appreciate your support.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Dylan and Logan. It's been fantastic hanging out with the two of you. We wish you the best of the rest of the year, an incredible 2023, as well as I'm sure you have some significant goals that you're shooting for. Thanks, Dylan, for calling in and spending your morning with us. We appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it, guys. I thank you again for having me to the podcast again. I look forward to hopefully doing a third round sometime.
In person this time, buddy.
Yeah, I know. We have to get that going. And look, thank you for taking Logan. Thank you for taking all the hard rebuttals.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Making me look good.
Yeah, thanks, Logan, for spending your morning with us as well. I know you got some calls to run actually after this, so
yeah, thanks for being a good sport, both of you, for playing the dice game like that. That would if we did that on every episode, I'm guessing we would have a lot less guests. So you guys ran with that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks a lot, boys. We wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a fantastic episode. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. I know there was so much content in there, especially regarding all those different types of objections. We only got to cover a few of objections today. I'm sure there's quite a few more that are out there that you run across. Drop us a line. We'd love to know what objections you'd like to hear role played or broken down on the podcast. Give us a couple ideas or suggestions for future subjects or guests, and we would sure love if you would hit us with a 5-star review, some comments, and share this podcast with others. We do hope that it is providing you with an encouragement, with a challenge, and of course with just the joy of listening to other people in the trades who are doing the same thing that you're doing every other day, and they are winning at doing it. And that's what we want for you as well, which is why we want to make sure that you are personally challenging yourself. You are the only one who can make the difference in your life. And that's where we'll leave it for this podcast with our weekly challenge to choose to wake up every single morning and waste no day.